Hey folks, it's Carmen here from Urban Farm School. I'm here with Verge Permaculture. We're talking about hail protection strategies for the urban environment. Now, all of these strategies will work on a rural environment as well for a home garden, but as we all know, hail is a massively destructive force here on the prairies and anywhere living close to the Rockies as we do. So, we're in a zone 3 climate here. And one of the most popular and gobsmacking, eye-opening strategies that we employ here at the Urban Farm Permaculture Project for my Urban Farm School students is our hail protection strategies, because people have been struggling with that for years, and I know exactly what that heartbreak feels like. I mean, we just became so tired of looking at every cloud with great suspicion in the summer. We realized we weren't enjoying our summer anymore. So we decided we had to come up with some workable, successful strategies that anyone could employ very inexpensively. So we've trialed a lot of different strategies over the years here at our home garden, and we found some that work really well. So the first thing I wanted to introduce you to are some of the fabrics that we have used, and these are going to make sense when you see how we employ these in action. So the first fabric we found locally was an insect netting. Now you can see it's got an incredibly tight weave. Now, what makes this fabric shine, and this is a product that you can often buy locally here at Garden Retreat. What makes this product shine is its flexibility. You see how flexible that is. It's actually really, really lovely. So when placed over our growing systems, even golf ball size hail will bounce off. And it's just a joy to watch it. So we videotaped a lot of little videos watching the hail bounce off of this. However, when the rain falls on this, it ends up coming through as a fine mist. So it's incredibly effective for hail. The rain does come through, but we'd rather see more rain penetration. So we still use this because it's what we have. But the next product we tried, move this aside, was this. This is a bird netting, basically. It's small enough that birds cannot get into it. They won't get trapped into it, but what's really great about this is the rain just comes right through, which is what we want. So, our hail season here is between typically mid-June to end of July. So we're not keeping these fabrics on top of our crops for the whole season, just a certain 6-week or 7-week period. The downside of this product is that it's not nearly as flexible. So the big hail will sometimes punch through. Now, not a lot, however. So typically when we have this over our large hail protection structure, which I'll show you shortly, we might see in a really big hail event 2 or 3 or 4 big punched holes. The smaller hail will not penetrate through this. So it is quite effective, and it's inexpensive. So that's great. But this year, we're going to trial some dedicated hail netting. Now, if you look at this kind of structure, you can see it's incredibly flexible and incredibly strong. The rain will definitely come through this. We also have to keep in mind with our netting that we do want we do still need the sunlight to penetrate through. We need all of the, we need our plants to be able to photosynthesize well. So we know that with this fabric, the original fabric, that it only cuts out 10 to 12 to 15%, depending on how you use it, of the rays of the sun. So that's about the same as if you were growing plants in a greenhouse, which is totally acceptable. I imagine this will be better, but we're going to trial this year. Now, this is from a company called American Netting, and the only reason we were able to buy this is because they were having a remnant sale. Normally they only sell to big distributors, and so we're going to actually see if Urban Farm School can become a distributor for this beautiful product. So I'm really excited to trial this year. I think it's going to be much more durable and longer lasting for our project. So let's have a look at what we do in our main vegetable garden for hail protection. And let me just see here if I've chosen the right piece. Yeah, that'll work perfectly. Okay, let's go into the main garden here, and I'm going to show you some of the ways that we support the structure for the 6 to 7 week period that we get hail here. So let's take a walk over. So we're in the main garden here, and I want to show you the panels that we use to support the fabric. So this is a really great product. It's basically used for concrete, and it's just a metal grid that we bought at Home Depot. But it's really, really fantastic for supporting hail. Now we do have raised beds which have edges. So I'm going to show you basically how we put these in place. So I'll just start at the edge here. I'll show you this end. Basically, it's just a pressure fit. So I'm just bending this down and placing it down into my bed. So that's all there is to that. It's just a pressure fit system. So I've got this on one end. Actually, maybe I will get another panel. And we'll do the other end. One second, just reorient myself a little bit. Little finagling here, but oh, I've got a drip tape in the way, but that's okay. For demonstration purposes, this works just fine. All right. So there we go. We've got that in place, basically. So then what we'll do is we'll take a piece of our fabric. Now this one is actually, this is too wide. Sorry guys, I should have shown you one that's, typically I go about a 4 foot wide swath. That's all I do. So I'll basically just position this over the top, like so, keeping in mind that I do really want open sides. I want good air circulation here. I don't want to, close this off completely. What I'll do is I use wooden clothespins, and I just affix those. But normally, honestly, I'm only going to about here on each side, and this just gets pulled taut. It's slipping now because I don't have it clipped at the other end. But you can see that once this is tightly across the top, there's no hail damage here. Good air circulation. These size holes allow you to get in and actually harvest and work with your plants. We did a little experiment here, and we cut out, if you notice, we cut out some of the center panels just for easier access. It does affect a little bit the integrity of the structure, but it's really not too bad. So that's how we use this system in the garden. So, come end of the month here, end of June, we're going to be covering all of our main garden beds in this way. This is also incredibly useful if you've got hot weather coming and your cool season crops like broccoli are starting to form heads. They're cool season crops. They won't like the really, really hot summer heat. So what I will do, because I don't want them to just go to seed before they make a head, so I'll put these back on if they're not already up, and I'll cover the tops up to reduce the amount of heat. This will reflect a little bit of heat. So that's a great system. So you can do the same thing with the blue netting or any of the nettings you find. So we're going to use our new netting for that this year. Now let's walk over to this other side of the garden. I'll show you 2 more strategies that we use. So guys, we're standing here in front of our large hail protection structure for our tall vertical crops. Sorry, we've got a bobcat getting ready to start up here, so we're going to try to keep it brief. With this system in our main garden worked so successfully, we thought, let's go big or go home. What do we do about our tall crops? And they're tough to protect from hail. So we built this structure, and we used exactly the same panels on top. And then we basically just used some chain and a piece of 1x2 to create a little bit of a barrel vault, to pull that in so there was a little bit of tension there. And then we use exactly the same fabric, large pieces we have a couple large pieces that fit over top of this, that provide exactly the same service as the ones in our main garden. So this is great because the structure is performing multiple functions, right? It's supporting our tall crops like our pole beans, our tall peas. It'll protect our corn if we decide to grow it under here one year, and of course our indeterminate tomato plants. So this has become invaluable for us. We love it. This is the thing that most people's jaws drop when they come into the yard and they say, what the heck is that? So it's so effective. We love it. I'm going to show you another system here just around the corner that for a smaller space performs exactly the same function, but allows direct access to the crop without being so low. This is exactly the same system, same size bed. Now in all of our beds, we have a cross brace hidden in the middle, sucking these two pieces of wood together. You want that because we really underestimate the amount of pressure that soil exerts on the sides of a raised bed. And ultimately, if you don't have something like that, the sides of your beds will start to bow. So we put that cross brace in anyway. Now these uprights are basically just bolted in. You can see here, just bolted right into the side. Okay, so incredibly movable if you decide you don't want to have this kind of structure. But if you had a number of beds lined up and you wanted easy access, you can create the same system with the same panels here. And you can see we've used chain and little S-hooks, and we're just holding. We pre-bent these so they have this nice arc, but these are holding these with that lovely shape and in place. So again, we just drape the fabric over that and it protects all of the crops that are growing below. So it's worked incredibly well for us. So sometimes we grow corn here or pole beans. This will be where corn is going this year. So it's really, really great. You know, plants with these broad leaves like corn and tomatoes, they can be really heavily damaged by hail. So having strategies like this in your garden really, it's very satisfying because you know that no matter what the weather does, you're going to get a harvest. So we totally encourage you to try these strategies to build more resilience and to be able to get a yield even after a short, volatile season. So hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and we'd be happy to answer those for you. So yeah, get out there and grow a great garden this year.